Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are playing with the new Pat McGrath and Star Wars collab. This collection is a little more expensive than what I purchased because, let's just be realistic, I didn't need everything that was released. I did pick up 3 eyeshadow palettes. I have the really big Mothership palette and then I have 2 of the minis. Like I said, I didn't need everything in the collection. There were mascaras, lips, and individual shadows. I think that was everything. But you guys, I'm really excited to dive into this, check the shades out, swatch them for you, give you my opinion. Before we jump into it, if you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, hit the bell for notifications of new videos, and if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. But if you want to see how I got this eye look using the Star Wars and Pat McGrath Labs collab, just keep watching. Okay, so my order for the Star Wars Pat McGrath collab, it came in 2 different envelopes. So the 3rd palette I ordered finally just showed up. And I don't know that I needed to order 3 of them, but I really wanted to see what the color story was all about. And I love Star Wars. I grew up with it. I think I've talked about this before when I've done ColourPop and Star Wars collab. So I have 3. I didn't buy all of them. There was one that just didn't speak to me, but I picked up the ones that I liked. So I did pick up this one right here, which is the Mothership Midnight Sun. I'm really bad with Roman numerals, you guys. But this is the outer carton. The one thing with these cartons though, they have the shade names on the inside of them, whereas the actual palette itself does not. So I'm kind of gonna have to keep the carton if I want to know the names. Otherwise, it's just gonna collect dust. Okay, so this is what the palette looks like itself. And looking at this, it looks like it's a sticker overlay. Like they made the eyeshadow palette and then decided it was a Star Wars palette. Like, I don't know if you can see how it's not really lining up. Like it was an afterthought. It's cool. I like the artwork. I really do. But it just, yeah, it bubbles up, but it's, I don't know, it's just not what I was expecting. The palette itself does have the heftiness that Pat McGrath Labs palettes have, where it feels luxurious. The sticker itself doesn't make me believe that. Anyways, here is the color story. You've got some neutral shades, you've got some pops of color, you have some interesting, like these ones right here are shimmers. You have a couple shimmers down here. Don't worry about my nail. I'm gonna go get them fixed tonight. But this is the first palette that I picked up. I'm weird because I like to open mine like a book. So this kind of, I guess since it's a sticker, I could probably take it off and re-glue it on there. This feels like a lot of work. Like I said, there are names in here. So Skin Show Moon Glow, Vermilion Venom, Blood Moon, Wicked Envy, Astral Solstice. What's crazy is these don't remind me of anything having to do with Star Wars. So, of course, we've got the shade names in here. And then there were like little mini palettes. This one with Darth Vader is Sith Seduction. And then this one with R2-D2 is Divine Droid. The small ones retail for $36. They have 5 shades in them. So this one is Sith Seduction with Darth Vader on it. And then this one with R2-D2 has more colorful shades. $36 for 5 shades. I guess that's not bad. And then, of course, the Mothership palettes, these are $128. Did I think I was going to spend that much? No, but I did like the swatches that I saw online for this on the website. Which, speaking of swatches, maybe we should just dive in. I didn't buy the entire collection. I was really interested in the eyeshadow palettes, not really. There was colored mascara, there was lip products, individual potted shadows. I just honestly wanted the eyeshadow palettes because that's what I gravitate towards the most. Okay, so starting with the shimmers in the Mothership palette. And even then, there's some that look like they're suede. These 4 are predominantly shimmers, and then these ones kind of look like they're a little bit more suede than like true shimmers. All right, so these are the first 4 shades on the top row. This one is Skin Show Moon Glow, and it looks like a champagne-y suede shade. It'll be really pretty in the inner corner on the brow bone. Then we have Bronze Eclipse. It's kind of a tan leaning gold bronze. It's interesting. Then you have Blood Moon 005. And that one, when I swatched it, I was so stunned with. It is super bronzy. I would say this is more of a bronze than this shade. And then you have Jubilee, which kind of gives me the 3CPO vibes of gold. So we'll go ahead and swatch that right there. And then these are the 3 shimmery shades on the bottom row. This first one is Naked Envy, very green, kind of like mossy green. Then you have Blitz Violet Orchid. That shade is stunning. I feel like I want to use that shade today. I just don't know what else I want to use with it. And then Astral Solstice, which, oh, look how stunning that is. I'm going to swatch that right there. So those are all the Mothership shades that are shimmery or sueded. We still have two mini palettes. I think we'll start with Sith Seduction, which they're all kind of shimmery. The nice thing about the minis, they do have the shade names on the back. Okay, so this first shade is Imperial. Beautiful, glittery, shimmery champagne shade. That might be a really pretty inner corner as well, or even brow bone. Then you have Dark Destiny. That is stunning. Mustafar Heat. That looks very similar to that shade right there, but this one is more just shininess by glitter. Then you have Galactic Conquest, which is another mossy jungle green, but it's more metallic than this shade, which is kind of sueded. And then you have Force Sensitive, which is kind of a bronzy tan. I wouldn't even know how to describe that shade, but those are all 5 of those shades in Sith Seduction. Now, trying to figure out where to swatch them. I'm going to try and swatch them right here. Ooh. And then this one's going to have to go down the middle. Ooh. I think I actually like these shades more than like this shade, but I do still like that one. Maybe this shade and the blue would be really pretty. And then that one, absolutely. This is going to be a tough decision because I have a feeling I'm going to be mixing all 3 of these palettes together. And I still have one more to swatch. Okay, so Divine Droid, and just to remind you what it looks like, those shades. And they're also very shimmery. This one is Astro Lime. I don't even have to describe it. It's literally in the name. It is a very light metallic lime shade. This one is Bronze Circuit. It's like bronze when it starts to look old and hasn't been shined. But those would be 2 really pretty shades with brown underneath. Secret Blueprint. Okay, that blue is positively stunning. Optic Fuchsia. Really love that color. And then the last one is Ultraviolet Messenger. I feel like these 2 shades together, I can't even show them properly together, they would be stunning in an eye look together. So those are all 5 shades from Divine Droid. I didn't swatch so well, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's the quality of the eyeshadow. Let me go figure out which shades I'm going to use, and I'll be back to come up with a look. Okay, looking at the eyeshadow palettes, between the 3 of them, the only matte shades are in the Mothership palette, and there's 3 of them. A tan, a brick red, and a charcoal gray. Which is fine. I think I can get a look out of that. But if you're a person that likes matte shades, you're not really finding it in these palettes. The first shade I'm going to go into is this one, Taboo. It's a really pretty tan. So I'm going to put this into the crease in the outer V, and then I'm only going to use one other matte shade to build up my crease and outer corner. Just because I think I'm going to be playing with the purpley shades, and I don't think Brick Red is really that shade that I want to use. I do like the tan. When I looked at it, it looked more orangey in the pan than it does on my eye. Now into this shade Extreme Dusk, which is kind of a dark charcoal gray. Not really black, but I don't know that I necessarily need black for this. And I'm gonna just use my compacted smudge brush for this. Pick it up, lay it down, and then blend it out. I do like this. It seems to be pretty buildable. And then when I do my smoky eyes, I do like to have the tan on the outside, just as like a neutral buffer. I get this weird like crease right here that if I don't look down, it's like a weird fold. No extra product on this brush. I'm just gonna go into the edges to just kind of blend. And it's a good start to a purple smoky eye. I'm gonna go into the shade Blitz Violet Orchid. This one I'm gonna try and pick up on a dry brush and see how it applies, just because I don't want it to fluff everywhere. Oh, this picks up really nicely on the brush. That is one thing I like about Pat McGrath. Her shimmers still pick up so nicely. That way I can at least get like the base layer before I pick it up on my finger to just make it pop on top of it. But see, it doesn't fluff into my crease. It still has that nice smoky buffer. And then on my middle finger, I'm just going to place it on top and see if I can get it to pop just a little bit more. See, just made it a little more metallic. Now switching over to the Divine Droid, I'm gonna go into the shade Secret Blueprint. Also gonna try and pick it up on a dry brush just because I want it to lay down nicely in the crease. Plus I want it to be a little more precise in the corner. So it is picking up. Now I'm going to go back and forth to try and marry them. I kind of like how it turned out. I'm going to go a little more into the crease or in the inner corner with it. Now let me go do this eye, some face products, and I'll be back for the rest of it. Okay, now to finish off the under eye. I feel like it came together a little bit more once I got my skin smoothed out with some face products, but now I'm interested to see what the entire look looks like. So let's dive in. I'm gonna start with the shade Taboo. This is gonna go underneath the entire eye. I am going to pick it up slightly on my fluffy crease brush, just for on the outside, and then into Extreme Dusk. This is only going to go to just about here on my eye. And then back to the smudge brush just to deepen up the outer corner. And to kind of blend the edge of the shimmer. Okay, I'm really liking how this eye look is coming together. Now I need to figure out this inner corner, and I'm thinking I'm also gonna stick with the Mothership palette. I'm gonna go into the shade Astral Solstice. I'm gonna see if I can pick this up on my pencil brush. Really hope I can. It is a very shimmery look. I was nervous that because there's not really an eyeshadow primer there, that it's got concealer and foundation, that it wasn't gonna do it. But, ooh, it is so icy and pretty. I don't think that that is gonna be the shade that I put on my brow bone just because it is so glittery. And now I'm gonna go into Sith Seduction. I think I'm gonna use the shade Imperial. This shade Imperial is the one I'm gonna go into for the brow bone. Ooh, that is the prettiest like champagne hue. I was nervous because it started to look like it was flaking up glitter, but when I centralized it right here and then spread it out, it's really pretty. All right, brows, liner, mascara, and some lips, and I'll be back with the final look. Okay, you guys, I'm back and this is the final look. If you're interested in any of the products that I have on my face outside of the eyeshadow palettes, it's in the drop down box. I will try and link the items that I can find, but I have some thoughts on how everything worked and the collection itself. Now, I like how my eyes turned out. I like the shadows. Pat McGrath Collabs has a great formula and I really enjoy the eyeshadows. The shimmers, the pigments, even the inner corner, it just is beautiful. Now, she's not really like what you would consider affordable. The Mothership palette, I was expecting more. The packaging itself, we already kind of talked about it. But $128, there's some really pretty shimmers in here, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite out of the collection. I actually like the mini palettes more. Granted, there's no mattes in here, but the shimmers that I used were phenomenal. I only used this shade right here out of the Sith Seduction palette, but I do want to play around with these shades. And then for the Divine Droid, I love the packaging. It is cute. I wish it was different. It's a cardboard box and $36 for 5 shades. But this one is actually my favorite because of all the bright shades in here. I used this one on the eye in the inner corner area. And then everything else was technically in the Mothership palette except for the inner corner. It's in my collection already. I do like some of the shimmers. I'll reach for this palette again, I'm sure. But I know $128 for a palette like this is not everyone's price point. Let me know your thoughts down below. Have you picked them up? Are you picking them up? Are you waiting for them to go on sale? Because sometimes she does do sales on her site. You just have to wait for the emails. But I'm interested in your thoughts. Do you like the swatches? Do you like the shimmers? Do you like the mini palettes over the Mothership? Let me know. Let's interact and have that conversation. But you guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell for notifications of new videos. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Until my next video, you guys, bye. And I'll see you in the next one.